right. Let's get into the notes now. I texted her. I didn't even know she was going to even do it. I texted her and she didn't respond. So then all of a sudden she just shows up. I'm like, all right. So, all right, our timing was all screwed up on that one. But anyway, the internet doesn't know why I'm even saying that. I got a really bad feeling about my pen today because it's been saying a low battery. So hopefully this does work out. But go to the notes on this page if you can focus at this point. Um, and yeah, you got to have this memorized. And we had this 2 years ago. You guys remember this, right? You did the law of sines and cosines before, all right? And your teacher should have made you memorize this. I'm going to go to the bottom. Don't write down here, though, because I want something else down here. What does that look like? And I picked this one on purpose. What does that look like? So it starts looking like the Pythagorean theorem. So and I know I'm just going right into the notes because with the law of sines, I actually didn't derive it, but I gave you a video that was really made sense why it works. This one, the deriving of it's really nasty, and I don't care. This is just one of those times where I'm throwing a formula in, you just have to have it memorized. And then, by the way, this is the only thing you have to memorize after that. It's Pythagorean theorem. Then the next thing is -2. Remember the -2. But then look at those two sides. They're the same as like these two right there. See, so it's -2 AB. So a squared plus b squared minus 2ab. And then I don't even think there's anything to write. How does it end? The same way that it, anyone? Starts. How could we forget that? And by the way, this is the law of what? Cosines. Anyone that puts a sign in there, I have no idea what you're doing. I have no idea how that even could possibly happen because the law of sines is that simple. Sine of A over A equals sine of B over B. So how could this also have sine? You put a sign there, you've caused your own problems. I can't even speak to that. I don't even know what to say for those that do that redonkulous stuff. And I don't even know what this box is. Why why do you do the things that you do, computer? Why? Okay, sorry. Yelling at the computer, Mr. Samuelus. This is perfect when SAS is given. Now I'm going to scroll up to the notes here and make this go longer than it needs to be. But remember back in the day, we said, hey, here's the general idea of the chapter. And then look at 3 and 4 now from that. You use the law of sines for SAS and then SSS, right? And you'll see, and actually, I'll draw this real quick. Why? Because one problem is people using the wrong formula at the wrong time. I mean, just look at triangle ABC. Side A, side B, side C. So look at that first one. If I had to find side A, look at what's given. B, C, and angle A. All of this on the right side would be known. Every single one of those would be a number. Okay, so that's why that would be the first one that would work out perfectly for the side angle side scenario. But then what about side, side, side? This is why I told you not to write anything. I really do because of order of operations and because this is a science idea of reformulating a formula into a different format equal to a different variable. You know what I'm talking about, solving a literal equation. Science teachers get ticked at math teachers. What are you teaching those kids? They can't reshuffle a formula correctly. You want to reshuffle this, and what you want to do is solve for cosine of C. And then it'll be in a great format. So, how do I get rid of these two first? What operation gets rid of those two? Subtraction. All right, this is grade school mathematics here. Okay, maybe not so much with variables and squareds and all that other stuff, but I should not have to show undue operations at this point. If I subtracted a squared and b squared from both sides, then this is what I would have. And that's an important distinction because then how do I get rid of this, which is often screwed up by seniors? How do I get rid of that? Divide, not add or subtract. This is times all the way across. So I have to divide by that. Two simple steps. Oh, and then a simple fractional idea. I know I pull things out of my brain out of nowhere. True or false? Oh my gosh, the pen. True or false? True. Oh, that's my wife. By texting, boy, that was awful. Yeah, our timing was terrible. Let's see what she said. Just saw this. Sorry for the poor performance. I sent her an email like 2 hours ago. Totally unprepared. Totally unprepared. True or false? What are you guys whispering about back there? Oh yeah, you didn't realize that? Okay, that was my wife. True or false? True or false? Say it. True. You guys don't know that? All right, is this true or false? False. That's the redonkulousness. People doing something. Why the heck is he going through all of this? It's because I'm going to switch this negative up to the top, and that's a legal scenario. C squared minus A squared minus B squared. And then now that's positive 2AB. Then what do I have to do with that minus sign? I wrote it appropriately, so you know you have to do what with that minus sign. Starts with a D. Distribute, Mr. Samuelus. All right, so I got to erase all this stuff here because now I'm going to rewrite this in the good SSS format. Okay, so you wrote that. Hopefully you gave yourself space. Because now what I'm going to do is write this. Or the cosine of C equals, well, you know what? The negative goes on to C squared. So watch this fraction. Minus C squared. See? See how it ends? Starting with cosine C, it ends with minus C squared on the top. And then the A squared and the B squared are positive now because I distribute that minus sign. And then on the bottom is that 2AB part. Okay? So then let's play the game here. What would cosine of B be? I don't know why I went that small there. There we go. What would the cosine of B be? What? Cob? Corn on the cob? Cosine of B. Well, how does it end? What do you think it'd be right here? Minus what? B squared. This is what humans do, mathematicians. We find patterns in things, and then we can go from there. And then it would be A squared plus C squared. And then it is over 2AC. Those same two, A and C, that are A squared plus C squared, I mean. And then what would cosine of A be? I'll move this SSS. Cosine of A equals, well, how does it end? Minus what? Minus A squared. Once you accomplish that and see the patterns and do a little homework, doing the homework memorizes the formulas as well. And then 2BC on the bottom. That's why you would want to move the negative up to the top because now you have less negatives to remember. It's only one negative. It's the minus A squared for cosine of A. Oh, does it always have to be triangle ABC? No, it could be PQR. Let's go to the first way of writing this, and let's all say this together, and they can hear you on this side of the mic. Are you ready? Q squared equals, okay, in 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. P. Let's start over, because that was horrendous. Q squared equals, go. P squared, go ahead. R squared minus, no Q, no Q, I don't know. Minus, I almost writing the number that you have to have memorized. 2, and then what? PR, and then how does it end? Cosine Q. Just kind of playing a game with different lettered triangles so you know how easy it is to write this down. Q squared equals Pythagorean theorem minus 2, same two sides, cosine ends as it starts. Very simple. There is no reason for you not being able to memorize that. Heck, people in anatomy have to memorize 100 body parts for one test. I'm asking you for really one formula and then just be able to shuffle the letters correctly. Oh, this is huge, by the way. You know, and I think last hour I got into it too much, and there is something to do with, hey, we're sign positive. What quadrants? Oh, we were done with that chapter. By the way, what sign of a 30? What's your answer now? Who cares? But it would be nice to know that it's 30. But where else is sign positive besides quadrant 1? 2. You know what angles are in quadrant 2? They're obtuse. So that means the sine function, it's impossible for sine to find an obtuse angle on a calculator. It will always give you the quadrant 1 answer. Okay, forget I just said that. Never, ever, ever, ever find the largest angle using the law of sines when you're solving. Ever. You never run into it so far at this point because of what was given in in our previous questions. So don't. But the law of cosines is your friend. If it's supposed to be obtuse, it will be obtuse. Remember this, because if you don't, you will be marked wrong if you use this inappropriately. So let's talk about that in this first one. And again, yes, I'm looking at some people in here. If you don't draw your triangle, you're causing your own destruction when you put all this stuff together. I have there's no reason not to be drawing triangles. None whatsoever. None. So it takes a second. Invest in yourself. A equals 12. I saw the work yesterday. That's why it drives me nuts. All right? And be neat and work on your neatness. You can't read your own writing, that's bad. Okay, and that's why you do this too, because on Monday, before your quiz Tuesday, you're going to have to assess what do I have? And what is that? That is SAS. So hopefully you remember, there's my pen. It's really not the pen, there's something just, oh my gosh. That is SAS. Okay, so what am I going to actually find? It's C, because it's opposite. Look at it, it's just like blink, blink, blink. Whenever you see this thing, my computer's just doing random stuff. It's like other programs are going, and it's just that's why my pen stops working. So I don't know why that thing's there. But we're going to find C. So here we go. C squared equals. You don't have to write this every single time, but it might be smart. A squared plus B squared minus, oh my gosh, this pen is just the worst. 2AB cosine. It is really getting bad. Maybe this time really for a battery, although I've had a low battery warning for probably a month, so it's hard to even trust this thing in any way, shape, or form. A squared is 12 squared, B squared is 16. And look at how easy this is. 2 times 12 times 16. And then I always like to tell you, what do I need from you? I only need this. This is all I need you to write. And then go to your calculator. My pen stopped working in the middle of that circle, so I'm just quitting myself. All right, so I only need you to write that and then go to your calculator. By the way, I am going to do this on purpose. Let's zoom this back a little bit if it allows me. Okay, no, it's 12 squared, so you get to see me online. Just do buttons on the calculator. This is fun. Minus 2 times 12 times 16 cosine of 29. Make sure your calculator's in what? Okay, and then that's 64.15, I guess. But I want to write this down for your purposes of understanding. And maybe I'm going to write it down. It's just so stupid. 64 point, what was it? I dare not go back. 15, I guess. Well, let me just do 14 dot 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 dot. Am I done? Is that what C is? Yes or no? No, what do you got to do to that answer? Square root it. I'm only writing this for note purposes. You don't have to write it. You just have to write the final answer for what C is. Ooh, nice. 8.00. Let's just say 8.0. Hope you enjoy my pen not working so much that I have to bang it on the computer all the time online. And there it is. The circle stopped again. Yay. Okay, now what you have to understand is a whole world has been opened for you now. This is a solve a triangle scenario. I might be done. The pen is really not working at all right now. Okay, but it'll take me a bunch of times. But our world is open now. I have to find the other two angle measures, and now I can use the law of sines. Who is the largest angle, though? Which angle is the largest? If you can't find this out, this is problematic. It really is. It's B, because B is opposite 16, the largest side. That is a basic grade school geometrics concept. So I am going to avoid B. As a matter of fact, I guess I could say this. You could use the law of cosines on A and B. It's just a lot of extra work. There's a lot of letters, all right? So usually what people do is once they get one thing solved, then they go to the law of sines. But be careful. You must not find the largest angle. I don't know if it is obtuse, but if it is, sine cannot find it for me. So avoid it. So that is why I'm finding A, not B. Okay? And that's all I got to say about it. And if you can't do that, then we got a problem and you're going to get wrong answers and you've caused your own destruction. All right? So now on this one, I guess for note purposes, I will go to the calculator. Please understand that you got to inverse sine this when you're done. And I did this fifth hour, made a little mistake. Actually put a wrong answer on the notes. So I do the old enter, then divide by. You know, I could take that all the way out, but 8.009, it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's not an angle. That's because that's what sine of A is equal to. So you inverse sine that answer and then go from there. Okay, real boring story to probably tell you, but when I first started teaching, I think it was my second year that I taught CAD honors. And I had a test, and I was marking students wrong, 46 points, because they were wrong answers, but their work was like impeccable. I'm like, what is going on? Why are these like 5 students have all like perfect work, but this answer is wrong? And it was this thing. It was the second step. They actually found the obtuse angle using the law of sines, but wrote it as acute because that's what sines does. So that was the first time I saw that problem. And then later books would identify it. This book actually says what I have at the end of the notes as well, which is great. So I just wanted to insert that story in there that this is a thing that if you do it now, you will be marked wrong for sure. And then all you have to do is 180 minus. And then lo and behold, B is obtuse. Anyone do that? What's 180 minus the other two? Did you get the answer? You did, right? 104 point what? Which is a what kind of angle? Obtuse. If you would have found that in step 2, you would have gotten the acute version of that angle measure. Meaning, I don't want to get into it, but there is a relationship between that and an acute angle that deals with chapter 5, which we don't want to talk about anymore. Chapter 3, I mean. Okay, so there it is. And it's on you if you actually make that mistake. Okay, again, yes, I'm very angry at those that don't draw those triangles. A, because then when we go on Monday, you're going to come up to my desk and go, I don't know which one to use. Because you didn't draw your triangle and assess. Do I have SSS, SAS, ASA, so on and so forth, and go through that process? Causing your own problems. All right, this is the last one. So we'll just go through this one and then be done. Yeah, sure. The boy who cried wolf. Anyone know that story? Penlow again. I've been getting this for a month. I got it right when I put the new battery in. I don't know. So what do I find first? What do you think? A, B, or C? What do you think I should do from what I put up there before? Why C? First of all, what is C? The largest, the smallest, or the one in the middle? Largest. What did I tell you about the law of cosines? Law of cosines, your friend or not your friend for obtuse angles? It is your friend. You missed that one. You see it's up here. See the big will? There you go. All right. Okay. So here it is. Now, this is without looking at your formula sheet. Cosine of C equals. How does it end up in the numerator? How does it end up in the numerator? Minus C squared. Once you do that, it's easy. Then it's, oh, okay, then it's A squared plus B squared. Why is this the pen? Hold on. My notes are taking 3 times as long because of my stupid pen issue. This is just great. Plus B squared, and then all over the 2AB part. didn't let me finish that too. Okay, so a squared plus b squared, 2ab on the bottom. All right, it's just the formula. And then watch how great this is. Cosine of c equals, look, side. A squared is 9.47. To fill in the parts that the pen just didn't let me do. It won't let me do that parenthesis. Squared, this is a great video. Plus b squared 15.9 squared minus, I tried to get my wife in the taping of the thing, but she mistimed everything. She screwed up everything. All right, 21.1 squared. You guys on YouTube don't know what I'm talking about, but that's fine. 2 times 15.9 and then 9.47. All right, now that is not what angle C is. What do we have to do at the end in order to find angle C when we get that expression done? What? Inverse cosine. Okay, so you have to inverse cosine after this to get that done. Oh, could someone just tell me what they get for angle C when they do all this? Okay, the only thing I could tell you is this. If you have an upgraded calculator, you know, back in the day, I hated that they made this button happen, but just go ahead and do the fraction button. Just go ahead and put everything in the numerator, everything in the denominator, so you don't have any order of operation issues. All right, and most everyone has that calculator at this point. So please just do that and then inverse cosine that. What'd you say you got? 109.9 degrees. There you go. See how the law of cosines gave you an obtuse? If it's supposed to be. There's not always an obtuse angle. You could have an acute triangle where all of them are acute. But you got to be careful. All right, and I hope you understand that as well. Okay, but once that's done, 109.9, I can use that with the law of sines, and it becomes easy. This one, I don't care what I find next. There can only be one obtuse angle, so I'll go ahead and find angle B. Sine of B over 15.9 equals sine of our found 109.9 over 21.1. Okay, and then this just goes here. So it's 15.9 times sine 109.9 over 21.1. And then you inverse sine. Can someone tell me what that is? What's wrong? Something happened outside? What was it? A sound or something? Ooh, I saw everyone look out there. Did anyone get angle B? This is awkward. We're live right now. 45 what? Can I get a heck yeah on that? Is that right? Good. And then it's 180 minus for angle A. And I don't even need to see that. So look at what I need to see. I just need to see this, answer, this, answer, and then really just answer. I don't need to see her work for 180 minus. That's grade school. Anyone going to tell me? Huh? 25? Yeah, it was. I accidentally found that through the law of cosines first last hour. And then I'll bore you with this. But, you know, when it comes Monday, we're just going to mishmash them, and you got to know this is why I got to make a drawing. But why does the law of cosines not work if I was given two angles on the side? I made that really small, so let's say like 23 degrees, 45 degrees, and then let's say this was 12.1. Oh, I guess I got to give letters so I can see what I'm plugging in here. A, B, C. That makes this A. That makes this B. We're already done. Law of cosines has a bunch of side measures in it. I already have two missing sides. But let's say I tried to find B. I don't have B, so I'm trying to find B. You already see the problem. I don't have A. I have C. So I got an unknown there, and then I also have an unknown here. Sure, you have the angle, but this is a mess. You have this unknown, and that unknown. That is an unsolvable situation. So if you're picking the wrong formulas by not assessing what do I have, there's at least an escape. Oh, I should use the law of sines instead on this question. All right, and that's the idea behind this. Okay, then one more thing to look at. I actually made this back in the day. I don't know if I read it from somewhere or not, but then I really, over time, doing these and that quick thing that I've told you, that story about grading that test, I kind of made this up, right? Here's a plan that you should go by. I don't think you need to look at this and follow it. If you're given two angles and a side, it's definitely SAS. All right. So this is, find the remaining angles and then use the law of sines. This one you might want to say you better get a siren going on this. This is ass going that way. So this could be true triangles as well, or no triangle sometimes. So all those things that we talked about that I don't want to have to go over again. But here's the big one. Boom shakalaka. Look at step 2. When given SAS, find the smaller of the two remaining angles using the law of sines because of what I just told you. Trust me. If you don't, you are causing your own damage. And then notice what I said with SSS. I suggest you find the largest angle first and get it out of the way. Is there an obtuse angle or not? Because the law of cosines is your friend. If you choose not to, then make sure you do find it last instead of in the middle. Okay. So if you want to go through an overall general rule, find the largest angle last, fine. Then that's what you do all the time. Okay. By 180 minus. And if it's obtuse, it'll tell you it's obtuse. All right, and I guess that's it. Done blabbering. Sorry for our awkward SpongeBob moment. Okay.